Ooh, child. This was an episode. Hey, everybody. It is Jeremy Speaks, and I'm coming at y'all again today with a review for P Valley Season 2, Episode 5. Y'all, I want to preface this by saying your boy might get a little bit emotional while he's doing this review. Now, I didn't try to do this review probably around 2-3 times, pre-recorded, but I was not able to get through it. So I was like, what the hell? Let me just do this live and just allow it to be organic in whatever shape form that they may come in. You know what I'm saying? So this episode was really traumatic for me because I didn't really realize how much I can relate to a lot of the stuff that, Mississippi has been through. So I guess we should get it started here. So this episode starts off with them in a hotel room. And basically, they're all talking about what they're going to be going through, as far as Mississippi Halo Priest, as far as Mississippi getting ready to do her dance tonight, because Mississippi is going to be performing in Atlanta. So we're in Atlanta, and now we are in the strip club, and we are honoring the past strippers. So we have Miami Tip Drill, we have Jocelyn Hernandez, and we have Jessica Dime Piece. And maybe I don't know if y'all remember her, but it was another stripper named Strawberry that was really popular as well. But I don't think that she was in this. So, it starts off with Jocelyn basically doing an intro into her giving her, I guess, her honor to the past hoes and strippers that was coming up in the area. So she does her dance, but then she says, it's new blood out here, hungry bitches. And, all of this smoke envelops her. And then after the smoke dissipates, we see that it's Mississippi. And just like Jocelyn said, Mississippi is doing things that these girls didn't think they could ever do. And that's including business wise and pole wise. Because let me tell you something, Mississippi know how to work that pole. Now, you want to know what I love the most about Mississippi? I don't even think it's necessarily about the sex appeal of what she's doing. It's really about to me, the athleticism of what she does on the pole, on top of that being pretty. Like, I don't really see Mississippi too often, giving lap dances or, getting butt naked. Like, she just do stripper pole aerobics and, acrobatics and things like that. And let me just tell y'all already know this. Mississippi killed it. But y'all, this episode is going to really kind of, I think it's supposed to mirror like a Euphoria episode, because it's being narrated by Uncle Clifford. And y'all, Uncle Clifford narrating this even added more into my emotional reaction to this episode. Like, y'all, I was crying. Because I know I may laugh and I may joke with y'all and shit like that, but I have been through some really traumatic things in my life, very similar to what Mississippi was going through, especially the whole colorism thing, sexual assault and, violence, domestic violence and things like that. So I was really emotional about this. So, so after she finishes her pole dancing and everything else like that, what happens is Uncle Clifford narrates that, before we see the Mississippi that we have now, we gonna go back in time to see where she came from. So we go, and then we are at a high school, and we see surprise, surprise, we see Gidget there. She's the captain of the cheerleading squad. And then we see Mississippi basically trying to stick this move, but she can't really stick it that well, and we also see Derek is one of the people holding her up. So I was like, dang, I didn't think that Derek would be on the cheerleading team. That's crazy. I was like, out of all the different things, I would have thought that he would have been on the football team, but he was on the cheerleading team, I was surprised by that. But from the crowd, it's a girl saying, I think I can do it twice over, actually. And it's this light skinned girl. Everybody kept on calling her so pretty, so fine, and so sexy. And I'm not saying that the girl wasn't pretty, but I'm just saying she was not all of that. Once again, us blowing up light skinned people past what they need to be blown up. Like she was not all of that. She was sexy, yeah, she was cute, but she just wasn't like the baddest thing walking. Like I think she wasn't like no Aaliyah. You know what I'm saying? It's like her face wasn't on Halle Berry. Her face wasn't on, Sanaa Lathan. Her face wasn't on, Nia Long. She wasn't giving that. If anything, Mississippi is that level of pretty. But because she's dark skinned, she's supposed to be looked over for the lesser, like, cuter one that's light skinned. Uh, I can't stand shit like this. But anyway, so she comes up and she sticks the move, right? And we basically find out that that's her stepsister because the next clip that we see is basically them all up in the house, and Mississippi is doing her two sisters' hair. And at this point, I'm realizing that this is kind of like a Cinderella story. So she has like the evil stepmom and the two stepsisters. But the thing was that I don't think the stepsisters really treated her that bad. I think they were too busy, going at it with each other. But like, I think the stepsisters were I think more so indifferent to Mississippi. Like they didn't have a close relationship with her. It wasn't like that, if that makes any sense. So she's doing their hair. Their mother comes in, and their mother is played by, I always forget her name, but if y'all ever watch Monique's movie called Fat Girls, she was like the cousin, the skinny cousin, the skinny bitch. That was her. So she played this character as a stepmother. She comes down and she was like, uh, ballet rehearsals, gymnastics, cheerleading. I need an assistant to keep up with y'all schedules. And I was actually surprised by how big the house was, because I'm like, wow, this house is really nice. So we find out that Mississippi also comes from money because her dad is very affluent. It took me a little bit to try to figure out who was the biological parent of Mississippi, because I wasn't sure if Mississippi's mom was this lady, and her mom just was a terrible mom to her for the sake of being with a man who could afford her to stay where she needs to stay. And the man had two kids, but it was actually reversed. So she was the daughter of the father, and then the woman was the stepmama. So it's almost like it's really mirroring, the Cinderella story. So she's doing these girls' hair, and then, like I said, the mom said, it's so hard to keep up with y'all schedules raising two girls. And then she said three. You're raising three. Because the mama wasn't including Mississippi. And then she was like, right, that's what I meant. Being very, nonchalant, being very sarcastic, very patronizing. Obviously, we see that she doesn't like Mississippi. She doesn't want Mississippi there, and she's going to try to force Mississippi out of every situation so she doesn't feel like she's a part of the family. That's what we're seeing here. So, whew, child. So anyway, Mississippi is doing her hair, and I think her hate for the stepmama was like clouding her perception so hard that she didn't see that she was burning her sister's hair off. So she ends up burning her sister's ponytail off because she was doing her hair, and then the mama just basically flips out at whatchamacallit, at Mississippi. So the next thing, since because she's in high school, we're gonna call her Keyshawn, was flipping out at Keyshawn. So the next scene that we go to is Keyshawn at the high school. She's sitting on the bench, and there's this black guy who's a part of the football team, and he walks up to her and he says, "Hey, you new girl. I see you new here. What's your name?" She ignores him, and he was up there like, "I don't give a fuck anyway. You just a dirty black burnt bitch." And I was like, "Hold up. Y'all just as dark as she is, if not darker. Like, how is she the burnt bitch, but y'all not?" And that goes into why does colorism, I mean, at least for heterosexual, the heterosexual, like, life goes, why does it only reflect on the women, but not the men. The men who were literally darker than Mississippi is sitting here calling her a burnt black bitch. And I could not understand that for the life of me. I was like, if anyone's some burnt black bitches, it's y'all for it, especially because every single one of y'all is ugly. Like, this episode was triggering to me in so many motherfucking ways, y'all. Let me continue on. So Derek walks up and he's saying, hey, leave her alone. You like an episode, like a like the Grease movie. So they up there like, what the fuck you gonna do, white boy? So Derek, tries to walk away. And then as he's walking away, the black dude has the audacity to spit on him. And all I could think about was like, child, Derek's KKK, spirit is about to activate and beat the hell out of everybody. And boy, was I right. So Derek beat four black football players up in the span of like just 1 minute. It was crazy. I was like, this is literally insane. This man literally can't like mustered all of his KKK strength, all of his Nazi strength to beat up all of these black people. And then Mississippi is sitting there just in awe because I guess now this is her white knight, her Prince Charming, her white savior. And this basically starts a whole, white savior thing. And I'm up here like, sis, listen. Don't you find this kind of odd that this man literally just flipped out and beat up 4 black people all at once? You don't think this is a little bit, eye-opening of how he might feel about black people? Now, granted, the black people were, disrespecting him, but the level of hate he beat those guys up with is crazy. So the next thing that happens is he takes her out to this diner I think it's called Pat's, or Patties or some shit like that. And they're basically grabbing like a cool pop and a milkshake. And looky. The waitress who were waiting on them was none other than that damn Patrice Woodbine. But y'all want to know something? Patrice Woodbine is my type of lady. She my type because the way that she was thinking is the exact way I think in actual reality. She was like, well, that's all you gonna get because Mississippi had ordered something real light. And then she was like, he can afford it, right? And you paying. You like, this is a date, right? You paying for everything, right? Basically pressuring Derek to pay for everything. And that's exactly what he did. So afterwards, he takes her back home the next day. But also, y'all, before they got to the diner, she was walking home alone, in the rain, and she had a book over her head. So he stopped and picked her up and brought her by the diner. That's how we got there. I just wanted to connect those things. So the next thing that we see, y'all, is basically Mississippi getting ready to take photos of her sisters for the prom. So her sisters have like these beautiful gowns, these beautiful dresses, and they're with their dates, and the dad is getting ready to, take the photo, but then he turns to Keyshawn and he's up there like, hey, Keyshawn, will you mind taking a photo? So Keyshawn goes over there and takes the photo, but while she's getting ready to take it, the dad is wrapping his arm around the sister. Now I forgot what the sister's name was, but the light-skinned, stepsister, he's wrapping his arms around her and kissing her on the forehead. So I guess it's kind of being hinted at that the father may be sexually molesting the daughter, the stepdaughter of the stepmom, because when he kissed her on her forehead, she looked completely disgusted. And I was like, "Oh, child, this is triggering me." It was almost like watching my childhood all over again. Like, this episode was very traumatic. They were not lying when they said that this was going to be a hard episode for us to watch. So now those two girls are getting ready to leave. Then all of a sudden there's a knock at the door, right? Then all of a sudden, Derek comes in like a white and shining armor. Like, notice I said white and shining armor. So he comes in like a white and shining armor with a fully fitted tux, and and he has a bag with a hanger in it, right? Like a garment bag. He opens up the garment bag and it's this beautiful blue gown that he has bought for her. I was like, where did he get this gown from? How did he know her measurements? How did he know this? I was like, that's a little bit odd for me. I would have like her parents didn't even get a chance to approve of the dress. What if they weren't comfortable with their child wearing that dress? I was like, is the parents gonna allow this? Like they ain't gonna say nothing? And I was like, why didn't they get her a dress anyway? So it's obvious that the father is not, really giving his daughter any attention. He's too busy trying to fuck on his stepchildren. So it's obvious that, from a young age that Mississippi has been not only overlooked, not only been demeaned, and I also want to know where her biological mother is. Is her biological mother like on drugs? Like what? Like why isn't she living with her? Like when she left her, when she was basically falling out with her, her dad and her stepmom, why didn't she go live with her actual biological mom? I like, and this makes me feel like I want a whole series surrounding Mississippi. I would pay for that. I want to see more Mississippi, y'all. So, like I said, so he takes out this beautiful blue gown out of the bag. Mississippi runs upstairs, does her hair, and she tries to put on a garment, but it's not fitting. So she put on like 5 pairs of Spanx, 2 pairs of underwear to stuff herself in this dress. And when she comes down, she looking badder than both of her sisters. Period. Hey, just here. Like she looking badder than everybody. So Derek takes her like to this country club. And I was a little bit confused because I didn't know if this was a place where the prom was at or this was like a separate venue or place that, Derek had taken her. Because I don't think this is the same place that the sisters went. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, is this the whole prom place? Because it just seemed like it was a whole bunch of white people there just staring like, nastily at Mississippi while she was dancing with Derek. And there was this one woman there who was looking at him like, you better not. Bitch, I motherfucking dare you, bitch. And it was nobody else other than his mama. So his mom was the reason why, they had 2 separate proms. Gotcha. I see. Thank you for that, Dana. Thank you for clearing that up. And thank you for coming in and watching. So, like I was saying, y'all. So they begin to walk out. And, Mississippi said that was like some girl eyeing me and like, giving me a real nasty look. And he was like, yeah, that's my mom. Yeah, that's my mom. And she was like, wow, I didn't think that was your mom. Like, that's crazy. And she was like, she looks like she doesn't like me. And then he was like, nah, she's fine. She's okay. Her bark is better than her bite. But my dad, you know, he makes you wish for the bark. So obviously he's letting Mississippi know that he is getting abused at home. And this is when, I believe the manipulation, like, kicks in and she starts feeling like she needs to save him. And this is like a to me, a warning for black women. You cannot save anybody. They have to save themselves, especially a man. Y'all, I know that I believe black women are just naturally nurturing, naturally, resourceful, just amazing, amazing creatures, and she wanted to save this man, but I wish at this point that she realized that what he was dealing with, she was not fully equipped to deal with either, because I felt like that would have changed all of this. So basically, after they leave, it starts to snow, and I don't know. Have y'all ever seen Pixel Perfect on Disney Channel? I know I be giving y'all hella references about what I be thinking about. Y'all remember when the hologram finally, went into the body of the girl, of the real girl, and then she walked her outside, and then basically was doing like spins around when it was raining because she wanted to feel the rain, and then she ended up leaving the girl's body. Y'all remember that? So like it kind of reminded me of that. So she's spinning around, looking like a child at this point because it never rains in Mississippi, right? Or it never snows either. So they go to the car, right? And they're talking and getting romantic. Then all of a sudden, Keyshawn's big kitty starts to purr. And they end up fucking in the back of the car. And I was like, ooh, child. Whew, child, not you fucking this plantation owner. Lord Jesus, oh, have mercy. This is not what Harriet Tubman died for. This is not what Harriet Tubman died for. This ain't it. This ain't what Martin Luther King died. I mean, I guess it is. This ain't what Malcolm X died for, damn it. Okay. So she gets taken down in the back of a car by this white man. She comes home late. She and her and then here's another reference, y'all. I don't know if y'all ever saw that episode of Powerpuff Girls. Y'all remember when Sedusa became like the stepmama and she started messing with, the professor? Um is his name Professor or is his name Professor Utonium? Yeah. Started messing with Professor Utonium and like he started acting different with his daughters and they were like saving the world in the middle of the night and they come home and she's on the couch waiting for them and she turns on the lights. That's almost what it gave me. And so she basically says, I'm sorry for breaking curfew. And then she's like, it's okay. She drunk as hell, look like she been crying, look like she upset. And I'm trying to be like, what's she crying about? What's she upset about? Is it the fact that her husband is cheating on her? Or did she find out that her husband is messing around with her, like with her daughter? I don't know. It's so much I want to know about that family dynamic, y'all. It was so interesting to me. So she's saying, it's okay. You actually the first one here. The other two sisters ain't made it yet, so I guess you the good daughter tonight. I was like, oh, child, you a dirty bitch. And then she said to her, she said, in that dress, fits you like it was custom made. And she was like, yeah, it does, doesn't it? And then she was like, be careful being your man's Barbie doll because the moment you become his Barbie doll, he could easily swap you out with somebody else. And I was like, ooh, child. Not that because that's exactly what happened to her. Because y'all remember Keyshawn mom was actually with the father when the stepmama had met him because they were on the plane and Keyshawn's mother, was not Keyshawn's mother, but the stepmom was, I guess, the flight attendant and was tending to the father and ended up slipping her his number and then basically connected with him after that and then ended up leaving the mom. That's what it kind of sounded like to me. So she goes upstairs and now we're back in present day. So we're skipping back and forth in present day, right? So now we in the hotel room after all of this money gets counted. Rome basically has his two what's it called? His two keys to give Teak, not yeah, Teak and Wody. Notice how he didn't give three keys. Cause I was like, he knows that because at this point he knows that, Lil Murder is, clapping Big Teak's cheeks. So he hands them two keys. They're all eating strawberries and everything like that. Strawberries and champagne. We drinking strawberries and champagne. Shout out to Goldie and Rain. So he says, I don't want no. So Teak says, I don't want no motherfucking strawberries, bitch. I was like, Teak, calm down. Teak be mad when he don't get his dose of no dick. Teak be upset when he don't get no dick, y'all. He be upset. If like Teak needs to be at least dick down 2 times a day to keep his temper on, like on cool. Because when he don't get that little murder D, he turned into a Tasmanian devil. It's almost like the motherfuckers from them Snickers commercials. Like you're not yourself when you don't have your Snickers. Except the Snickers is little murder's dick for Big Teak. So at this point like he's trying to hand out the keys, and then Big Teak says, but why didn't we get a chance to perform? And he was like, so Rome is like, I don't have to do shit for y'all. I'm already doing enough. Like, so at this point, Teak's like, fuck this shit. I don't need to stay in his motherfucking room. I'll go into the motherfucking hearse and go to sleep. So he goes to the hearse, Lil Murder go chases after his boo-boo thing. And then, it's just Wody in the room with Mississippi. So Mississippi says, it's okay. I'll go upstairs and I'll go get the keys, and everybody can go to their room. Because Mississippi is always trying to make sure that everybody is okay. Mississippi has a very nurturing, kind, loving energy. She's such a nice woman. Like, I love her character, y'all. I know that I was mad at the beginning of the season because what she did to Diamond, but now seeing every single thing that I'm seeing, I see that she just wasn't, she just wasn't ready to be free yet. So she goes upstairs, right? And she basically is, I guess, trying to talk to Rome about getting the keys back, but Rome changes the topic. He basically says that the wig deal that they were trying to build, fell through. And I was like, because it was no motherfucking wig deal. Fake ass nigga. I was like, it was no wig deal. It was no wig deal. All this man is trying to do is pimp her out and fuck her on top of it. He's just trying to make her feel like he's doing something, but he's not doing anything at all, but profiting off of what she's doing. Child, it's a whole sham. So he says, but they do have this custom clothing type of deal that could be on the table. She would just need to try it on. So he gives her this lingerie to try on, and I'm up here like, now Mississippi, I know you may be naive, sis, but this nigga got a robe on and he asking you to try on some lingerie. And so she goes on and tries it, right? And at this point, he's up there like, does it fit, right? Does it fit like a glove? And she don't like it. But she's trying to just swallow her pride and just be a good, Samaritan, I guess. Like just be a good sport about it. And then all of a sudden his robe starts to open up. And Mississippi immediately starts to look shaken. She was like, Rome, your robe is open. So he was like, oh yeah, my bad. And he slowly closes his robe. And all I could think about was, this motherfucker is not gonna try to rape her. Cause that's all I could think. I was like, he bet not try to rape her. Baby, listen. So he's trying to come on to her, and she throwing off his his advances. And she walks out of the bathroom into the room. And then he says, everything I done for you, bitch. I was like, oh no. Oh, you bet not. He was like, he was like, I done did all of this shit for you. This motherfucker, you did all of this shit. And she was like, I'm starting to notice that I have the power here. And then he was like, all them motherfucking lap dances that you doing, bitch. You think this shit is important? And then she was like, it's called charity. I give the people a show, but they never get the cookie. What I do is charity. And then he was like, why you letting motherfuckers pay you then? So then he pushes her to the bed, rips off her garment, and then I started to think about the Players Club. And and then it was almost like I only came to dance. That's it. This show is pulling out a lot of different references to me that I'm able to catch or I'm connecting. Like, it was giving me very much Ebony up in a hotel room, and he tries to rape her. She ends up hitting him. He ends up trying to chase after her, wraps his arm around her ankle. Her shoe is left behind once again to to stabilize a whole Cinderella concept. So she runs out of the room. Mind you, on top of that argument, he's saying, bitch, I have that motherfucking tape. I know everything. The motherfucking two faggots and everything else. He like them two faggots talking about Big Teak and Lil Murder, and he says like, she said you ain't got no proof that they doing anything. She was like, he's like, I ain't got no proof. I got a motherfucking tape. And then he pulls out a tape, and on the tape is Lil Murder and Big Teak fucking. And I was like, excuse me, Rome, if you don't mind sliding me that tape, please, I would very much appreciate it. If you could please slide me that tape, I would take good care of it. Okay. I would take good care of the tape. It won't be, tarnished. I'll keep it good for safekeeping. I give me the ownership of the damn sex tape between Lil Murder and Big T. I'll take it. So she says, so she's running out. She ends up running down the hotel room hallway, bangs on Wodie's door, and she basically tell Wodie everything. Wodie is like, damn, bitch, you done been through it. Come in. And at this point, y'all, I realized that I think Wodie might kind of like Keyshawn. And I really, really hope that they don't kill Keyshawn off. I really hope they don't kill her off, because I mean, her character just deserves more. Like, we don't have to see a whole nother, like don't we have enough black pain? I don't want to see a whole, story about Keyshawn getting murdered by her white husband. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to see that. I just hope that this works out for her. So she goes into Wodie's room, tells him everything, and she says, he tried to rape me, and he said he knew everything about, Big Teak and Lil Murder. And he was like, "What you talking about? He know everything." She's like, so she looks at him and says, everything. So at this point, it's kind of obvious that, that Wodie and Mississippi both kind of know that the other person knows that Lil Murder and Big Teak is fucking, but they are minding their business. And that made me respect Wodie even more, because he really does love and respect his bros. He ain't judging, he minds his business, and he handles what he needs to handle. My type of motherfucking friend that I would want around, right? So, he says he gonna handle it, right? So snap back to now we're back in time again, and now we see that Mississippi is now living in like a duplex with what's his name, with Derek. And basically she's 8 months pregnant, and they're basically going through some baby clothes. She's laying on the couch and she's saying like, none of this shit is what I want. It's all ugly. I didn't ask for any of this, because I guess she had a registry on what she wanted for the baby shower, and like spitefully Derek's parents had gave her everything that she did not want, and she did not like that, and she was basically calling it out. And he was like, but at least they tried. And she was like, no, the fuck they ain't trying. Like, my daddy is the one who's trying. He the one who put a down payment on the duplex. And he up to like, shut up. He up to like, shut up, Mississippi. And she gets keep on going. And he was like, shut up. And then he says this: I should have never fucking put my dick inside your nigger pussy. Well, he didn't say it like that, but you know what I'm saying. Like, he was like, I should have never fucked you. I should have never did any of this, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be having to take something from some backwoods hoe, backwoods bitch. And I was like, nobody told you to fuck her. Nobody told you to do any of this stuff. Like, you made all of these choices on your own. Like, and on top of that, she says, you're not taking care of me. I'm the one who's working all day and night at Walgreens, while I'm 8 months pregnant, taking care of this damn place. And then he says, shut up, shut up. So then she's basically saying, I'm the one who's taking care of every motherfucking thing in here. So then he flips out, starts choking her, and says, it's your motherfucking fault that I got disowned by my motherfucking family. You deserve to do this shit. And that goes in, y'all remember, I told y'all, I believe on the first review that I made 4 episodes ago, that he treated her like a slave. She's like a slave. And that's the way he views her. He wants her to work and for him not to do anything, because he blames her for the fact that his parents disowned him because he chose to fuck a sexy black woman. because he was attracted to her. Not only that, because he's one of these entitled white people, he feels like he don't want to work anyway, and he had an inheritance coming his way where he wouldn't probably even had to work, and he forfeited that all to fucking with Mississippi. So in some type of twisted way, he feels that it's Mississippi's right to have to work for him and him not to work because that's the life he would have been living if she had not came. Then I really couldn't. Like, this is crazy. I think they would kill Wody off before Keyshawn. Keyshawn still hasn't come into her own yet. Now, Wody, I think Wody is not about to be killed off. Wody is necessary for a little murder storyline, but I heard in the actual play that Mississippi died. But y'all know when they do the shows, they really change it, change the storyline slightly from the plays. Because if y'all remember, Tyler Perry's Diary of a Mad Black Woman, the movie is slightly different from the play, because in the play she ends up taking back her abusive husband. But in the movie, she dumps her husband and end up going with Shamar Moore's character. So it could be different. But I'm saying in the play, I heard that she dies. So I'm saying I hope that that's not the case. So after she gets choked and beat up, she goes to her father's house, knocks on the door, and who else opens it besides the evil motherfucking stepmom? And she's like, "What is it, Mississippi?" And her sister is like watching, from the upper stairs. And she was like, "Please, I don't have nowhere else to go." And she was like, "You can't stay here. I can't have my children around that." I was like, "Have your children around what? Your children is sucking dick in the bathrooms. What are you talking about?" I was like, "Mississippi, you should have worn a fucking condom." I was like, "You gave this evil bitch everything that she needed to, kick you out." And then she basically said, "But what about what my daddy is saying?" And then the stepmama said, "He agrees." But we never hear the daddy say that. And in my opinion, listen here, I think that they killed off the stepdaddy. And I think that they just haven't told Keyshawn that. I think her dad is actually dead, and the stepmama maybe poisoned him or something like that, and took all of the inheritance that Keyshawn was gonna have. I believe that. I don't know if anybody else caught that, but we don't see the stepdad anymore after the prom when he wraps his arm around Keyshawn. I mean the stepdaughter, and then we see her crying in the damn whatchamacallit in the living room, but we never see why she's crying, what happened, what transpired. We never hear from the dad again. And mind you, this is kind of mirroring the whole Cinderella story. And I don't know if y'all remember, but Cinderella's dad got, I guess in some stories he got poisoned, some he just naturally died. But I think the main case, he got poisoned by the step parent, and then they ended up taking all of the inheritance from Cinderella and giving it to the stepdaughters and the stepmom herself. So I think that's kind of what's happening. Dana Dane says, "I love Keyshawn and the actress who portrays her, Shannon Thornton. She's so gorgeous. I hope they don't get rid of her. I hope they don't either. I really do. I really do. I really do hope that her character at least kills. Like, if she die, I hope she dies killing, Derek. Derek needs to die. Derek gotta go. Derek gotta get up out of here. Derek got to go. He gotta go, y'all. And you gonna really feel he gotta go after I tell y'all what happens next. So skip forward, she goes back to her place, back to this duplex, and she goes into her baby's room, and there's flowers all on the ground. Just flowers all over the place. And this is when, Derek basically comes up to her and says, "I won't do it again. I'm so sorry. I won't hit you no more. I'm better than my daddy. I'm gonna be better than my daddy." And then, Mississippi is basically, hugging on him. It's like, "Yeah, it's okay, baby. I know." And she just feels so disgusted, I know, touching this man who just beat her. But she has to swallow her pride, because not only does she not have no place to go, but her stepmom kind of you know, said that that's what she needs to do. Is you can't leave when things get rough. That mom, she going into the deepest pits of hell. Like she's a fucked up bitch. So, y'all, after this, the next scene that we go to is, now it's the ending of the tour, I think. It's the ending of the tour, and now Keyshawn comes back home. Keyshawn comes back home to, a hot dog waiting for her, from Derek. Like he up there acting like he's so happy to see her. The kids is crying. Like she hugs one kid, and then the other one seems to kind of like reach back for her, reach back from her. So she says, what's wrong with him? And Derek says, I don't know. So why Mississippi never talked to her dad directly? I just said that, Ravine. I think the daddy is dead. I think the daddy dead. That's what I believe. I think the daddy is dead. That's why he hasn't been seen yet. I think he dead. And they haven't told. I think he died. They already had the funeral and buried him and haven't told her. Like I feel like that is exactly what probably has happened. But I don't wanna, that's just my prediction. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, child. It is what it is. But that's what I think happened. So anyway, so she's hugging her child, and then she sees that the child's arm is making him cry. She touches the arm, and she just starts crying so bad. He starts crying so bad. So she takes her son, little Jaden, to the pediatrician, and we find out his elbow is dislocated. And then while she's saying it's like that's normal, the doctors are showing her, oh yeah, that's normal. Kids like dislocate their joints and stuff all the time. It's very easy at this young age because their joints are still growing and everything else like that. But then as she's picking up her son, the nurse, her, and the doctor see that there's a bruise on the baby's back. I don't know if it's a bruise or a burn mark. I don't know which one it could be, but it's something. And all I could think about was like, at this point, how come CPS was not called? How the fuck is she able to take her kids back after they've been abused? Who would you rather see, Big Diamond? Who would you see, Big Diamond with Keyshawn or Big Bone? Keyshawn, definitely. I don't like Big Bone, and I already told y'all. I know this is kind of fucked up, but I don't. But like, I really did think that Miracle Watts was a trans woman. I did not think that she was a cisgender woman until she ended up getting pregnant. I didn't think that she was cisgender. I thought that she was like a Maya Scott, the one who was on Star who played like Queen Latifah's daughter. She gives me that same energy. Like she gives me like, trans woman. But I guess she's cisgendered. So, but yeah, I'd rather him be with Keyshawn, but obviously Keyshawn is about to get with Wody. So, you know, And to be honest, Big Bone and Diamond don't even match. Like their energy is completely different. Like Big Bone is she's not deep enough for him. Like he deserved more than Big Bone. Like, I was like, this is a terrible addition. I was like, I don't like her on the show. I didn't like her, I didn't like her like, on social media like that before she joined the show. And I was like, Diamond is way too deep. Big Bone is too masculine. Big Bone to me is I'm not gonna comment on that. But oh my, I just found out Diamond left his fiance and 3 kids to be with Miracle. What? I thought he was with Tyler Perry last. Oh my god. Wait, he's left his fiance and 3 kids to be with Miracle. So as long as he was honest with it and they had kind of like separated. Let's be real. Just because somebody has a kid with somebody don't mean that they need to stay together. You know what I'm saying? Like if he might feel like she wasn't the one, you know? But I definitely don't see him and Miracle Watts working out. I don't see no longevity in that relationship. But this isn't to talk about that. This is strictly P Valley. I could care less about the actual people who playing the characters, you know. So, but to answer your question, I think that he needs to be with Keyshawn, if anybody. But Keyshawn looks like she about to go with Wody. Her and the baby mom was going back and forth on Instagram. Miracle Watts is androgynous. Okay, so y'all see the same things that I'm seeing. I swear I thought it was just me because don't I like I looked in the comments just to make sure, you know, but nobody else was seeing the same shit that I was saying when I was looking at this lady. I was like, I thought that Miracle Watts was a trans woman. I really did think that, you know, she was a trans woman. I really did. You know, but the more you know, she could just maybe just have it's her. You want to know what it is? It's her voice in her surgery. Her voice get y'all. If y'all ever been around, you know, went to the ballroom scene, you know, where they giving out tens and stuff like that. There's trans women and they all sound just. They all have that same like voice that Big Bone has. Whereas almost like they're trying to force like this ultra feminine voice, and it's like, yeah, baby, cause you know, like it's given, like yeah, like I can do that. Like it's very much like you know they're trying to force this higher voice because you know their voice may be naturally a little bit deeper, but in my opinion, that's what she reminds me of. Those trans women from the balls who's given like who are usually in the ultra feminine category serving face, you know, that's who she reminds me of. But like child, you know, if Tyler Lepley like it, then who are me to judge, child? So listen, so like I was saying, so Mississippi comes back home with the kids. She puts the kids in the room and then she basically approaches Derek about everything that had happened. And she was like, the doctor said that his elbow was dislocated. Derek says, no, that can't be true. And then she pulls out the paper and says, yes, it is, Derek. His arm has been dislocated. Now you can beat me, Derek, but you cannot beat our children. And you cannot be like your father, Derek. You're better than him. You're better. He's up there like, shut up. So you be like, shut up, Mississippi, shut up. And she's going on and on. And he was like, I gotta go to this interview. And then she says, you're not gonna get it. Baby, why she say that? Why she say that? Why did Mississippi say that? He slaps the shit out of her. Like blood like spurts from her mouth. She hits the ground. I don't know if she was trying to crawl to the kitchen, like to the kitchen counter to try to grab a knife, but Derek grabs her by her weave and yanks her into the back room. I was like, that's a wig, sis. Yank that wig off and go get you a knife and stab this bitch. Quit playing. So what happens next? He yokes her up, chokes her, puts her against the wall, and grabs the hot iron that he was using to iron his work clothes, and well, his interview clothes, and puts it right next to her face, and he's about to burn her face. And then she was like, "Please, you can burn me anywhere, Derek." Derek, oh my, no, Derek, anywhere but my face, Derek. Please. Anyway. So Derek is inching it closer and closer and closer. And I was like, not the good times reference. Not the good times reference. I was like, not the good times reference. I was like, this is crazy. I was like, they referencing Cinderella, Pop-Up Girls, Good Times. They just referencing everything in this episode to trigger us and traumatize us even more. So y'all listen. So he ends up taking the iron from her face. He ends up not ironing her face. And I was like, well, Derek, her face is like the only reason that you're really with her because she's that pretty. If you mess up her face, what's she left with? How's she gonna pay the money? How's she gonna pay the bills? You know, so child, listen. He says, it's all your motherfucking fault. And he storms off, starts yelling and saying, shut the fuck up, like Mississippi, while she's crying because she is extremely traumatized. And I'm letting y'all know, when this scene was going down, I was screaming and crying because I was scared for her. I really thought that he was gonna burn her face. Oh, I thought he was about to burn her face. Oh my God. So y'all, now we at the last scene, right? So that's where it leaves off with Mississippi. I thought she was gonna kill him this episode. I thought Mississippi was gonna finally gain her freedom. But I see, maybe Wodie's gonna have to help her out with that. He's helped Lil Murder out with this right here. So y'all know that Rome tried to rape, Mississippi, and threw it out there that he basically has, sex tapes on Big Teak and Lil Murder. So Wodie comes into this hotel room and Rome is there, and it's like a whole bunch of people basically having an orgy with different strippers and shit. He walks into the room and he says, "Hey man, what's up? I just want to tell you." And Wodie was talking to Rome, that is. He's like, "Man, I just want to thank you, for everything that you did for us on the tour." And Rome was like, "It's okay, big bro. It's okay, man." I was like, Rome is so motherfucking fake. Oh, he fake. But let me tell y'all something. The man who played Rome, he could get it. I ain't gonna hold you. Rome is fine. the man who played Rome is fine as hell. He could get it in real life. Now, the character Rome can't get shit. But the man who's playing Rome could definitely get it. So he was up there like, "Man, look, I got something for you." So he pulls out a vial of cocaine. Rome is looking at him like, "Is this shit a setup?" So what Wodie does is pull out, I think, this fake line and snorts it, or acts like he's snorting it, and makes him feel like it's okay. So then he lays out the rest of the lines, for Rome. And Rome is sniffing, basically talking, and they're going over all of this stuff. And all of a sudden, while Rome is just, talking, on the while Rome is talking to him while he's sitting down, Wodie says, "Hey man, have you ever saw somebody die before?" And then Rome is saying, "What are you talking about?" And then Wodie says, "Where you like to be buried? How would you like to be buried?" It was this one lady who got dumped into a swamp, and her body was found 3 weeks later. And then another woman, she was found, and her body was basically melted into the floor. And I was like, does this mean that Wodie be killing people? I was like, this obviously is not the first time Wodie has killed somebody. I was like, dang, Lil Murder got some killers on his squad. He got some hitters. Look, y'all, Lil Murder might fuck a nigga in the ass, but he's definitely not the one to fuck with, because his friends will end you if you ever try it. They will kill you. So listen. So then all of a sudden, the man playing Rome can get it, especially if he dresses like he's in character. I'm trying to tell you, Rome is fine. Mississippi better than me, because I would have gotten on my knees. I would have been like, "Sis, let me tell you." Let me tell you, you could take that robe off, Rome. You could take that robe off. Let's go. Let's get it. Let me get about this lingerie. I would have fucked him. That's just me, But then again, I know I have whole tendencies, so that's beside the point. So anyway, it seems like that Rome's senses start to, fade out, and he's trying to struggle to breathe, and then this is this maniacal, outro speech that Wodie is giving him, "You real blessed, because a lot of people don't get this right here. You have somebody easing you over to the other side." Wodie is sexy as well. I want to fuck the whole male cast except for Uncle Clifford. Damn, I'm trying to tell you, these niggas is fine. The women are always saying that the fine niggas are gay, married, or taken. But that's not the truth, because these niggas is fine, and all these niggas is straight. The only gay nigga on the cast that we know so far is Uncle Clifford, and I don't want to fuck him. Who want to fuck Clifford? Not me. Absolutely not. I was like, why? And another thing, why haven't we seen no full frontal of Tyler, Lil Murder, or Wodie, Big T? I I'm mad that the only dick we had to see was Uncle Clifford's. What the fuck is going on? Like, what is going on here? Like, we seeing the wrong dick. I'm trying to tell y'all, they like it would be a whole train. It would be a train. It would be a whole train. I would have no shame about myself. If I was in a room with all of the men, they were fine. Like Wody, Big Teak, Lil Murder, Rome. Listen. Oh, what Big L? Oh my God. Big L look like he'll put you in a wheelchair. Big L just exudes big dick energy. My God. Ooh. And you know, listen, I'm getting hot in the pants, child. Let me look. So anyway, so long story short, Rome ends up collapsing on the table. Wody ends up walking out, and then all of a sudden we see like the like the orgy party stop, and then everybody runs to the back and like this nigga OD, y'all. Call the police, call the ambulance, call the ambulance. I was like, you mean the ambulance? Black people don't. Black people hate saying ambulance. They will say ambulance until the wheels fall off. Oh my! I don't remember seeing Cliff's dingaling. Y'all don't remember seeing Cliff's dingaling? Like y'all don't remember? It was on his birthday. The dude pulled him into the back into the at the party and pulled him into the back room and started giving him head and pulled his pee out. And I was like, yuck. I was like, don't nobody want to see Uncle Clifford's penis. Don't nobody want to see that. I was like, we don't get to see diamonds. We don't get to see big L's. We don't get to see little murders. We don't get to see big teaks. I was like, wow. I was like, why we got to see Uncle Clifford? And then Uncle Clifford have the nerve to have a big dick. I was like, absolutely not. Oh no. I was like, oh no. I was like, rebuke it, Jesus. I was like, this is not. No. And y'all, that was the end of the episode, though. I hope y'all enjoyed the review. I will be back. I'll be back at 3 p.m. for Love and Marriage DC, and I'm already letting y'all know I will be dragging a certain bitch to smithereens. I'm trying to tell you, this drag, it's like if y'all was here, if y'all witnessed my drag that I gave to Joy from Ready to Love, I am about to drag the fuck out of somebody on Love and Marriage DC. I ain't gonna say who. I guarantee you. Yes, we saw Andre's dick. Oh yeah, but nobody want to fuck him. Andre ugly. I don't like him. No thanks. Return to sender, please. It's always the people that we never want to see is the ones whose dick we're seeing. Can we please see Diamond's dick? I need to see. And can we also see little murders? And then y'all know I'm starting to think that these ain't they real dicks anyway. I'm starting to think that these are prosthetic dicks. Y'all know like those dicks that the trans man be wearing, strap-ons, except that the only thing is they're wearing clothes over them so they could just pull out their dick and make it look real. Child, so but yeah, okay, at 3 p.m. I will be back to review Love and Marriage DC. And I promise y'all, and I'm talking about 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Because it's about to be lit. It's about to be lethal. It's not their real ones. I don't think it is either. And the only man who really showed his real dick was that dude who got caught, getting his dick sucked by, Andre's wife. He was like, he showed everything, but nobody else did. Diamond gives me schmedium. Look, schmedium dick is good. I don't know what y'all talking about. Schmedium and medium sized dick is everything. Don't nobody want no 13, 15-inch dick. Like, that's gross. Like, that shit be uncomfortable. I don't know how y'all bitches be doing that. Y'all need Jesus. That shit ain't normal. My ex had a big one. It was extremely huge. And mind you, I'm packing myself, but he had me beat by like 3 inches. So he was almost at around 12 inches with he was almost around like 12. That was, listen, fucking him was more like a chore for me. It was like a chore. at least when I was on the receiving end, when I was topping, it was different. But that was a whole nother list. Listen, let me stop telling my business on here. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. See y'all later. Hope y'all enjoyed the reviews. Goodbye. I'm not about to be talking about my business. See y'all later.